This week's funny story is from a time I was down in New Orleans. It was during Mardi Gras, and we were remodeling Walmarts. I was running crews and had four of my buddies working for me. We had went down and decided to go to Bourbon Street. We were doing a store, I think it was in Baton Rouge or somewhere down close there at the time, and we wanted to go see Mardi Gras. So we get down there, and it was the night before. We, at the time, were remodeling Walmarts and working all night and doing the night shift. And we just happened to have a night off this night. And so we get down there at the beginning of the night. It's like, 10 o'clock at night or whatever, 9 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, guys, we got it. We're going to stay and just party or do whatever. And we need to meet back at the truck at 6 in the morning. And no matter what, we have to meet here at this address. And I made sure everybody knew where we were at and said, here, 6 o'clock, no later. We have to meet here no matter what. This is where we meet. And so we all went out and we stayed together for a while and hung out. But then we kind of split ways here and there. And our one buddy, Mac, he just disappeared. And we didn't know where he went. All night long, Mac was gone. And we didn't know. We went around, just did all kinds of stuff. We really got the full Bourbon Street experience. It was pretty fun. It was wild. Um, and there's one end that you don't go down. So I guess I didn't really get the full experience because there's just one end where it starts to get a little creepy, and I don't go to that end. And that's usually the stopping point to where you turn around and come back. So we just stayed on the main strip there on Bourbon Street, where all the bars and restaurants are, and just basically partied all night. It was a good time, but we didn't see Mac. We didn't know where Mac had ran off to, and so it became 6 o'clock in the morning, and it came time to leave. And so we all met back at the truck, and we're hanging and waiting, and no Mac, and no Mac, and we waited until about 7 o'clock, and we'd been waiting an hour, and we were becoming impatient, and we were like, okay, what do we do? Mac is not to be found. We have no idea where he's at. We're way far away from where our job is. It was about an hour and a half away from the job, and you got to go across the bridge. I forget what it's called, the Pontchartrain or whatever. It's a big, long bridge that goes for what feels like an eternity, man. It's the longest. I swear, I think it's 60 miles of bridge that goes through swamp, and it's just. On the other end of that is New Orleans, and it's just kind of out there in its own little entity on the other side of the swamp. And I didn't want to leave him out there stranded, you know. We had a job to do, and B, from the friend standpoint, and I just didn't want to leave him in some strange city. So what do I do? We've been waiting an hour, but we still have an hour and a half. It might have been a little bit longer drive to get there, and we got to go to bed so we can wake up and the next night and go to work. And so it starts to become a deal, and we're like, all right, well, we got to go find Mac. And so we realize that he's not coming to where we're at, so we're going to have to try and go find him in New Orleans, which is an impossible task. Now, keep in mind, we were just on Bourbon Street, but the city's huge. You could go anywhere. Who knows where he went? So we tried to stay focused on Bourbon Street and just around there, and went down all the side streets, drove all around that place. We drove all over. And so we just tear the Bourbon Street and the city apart down there and looking all over for him. And he is just nowhere to be found. So it gets later in the afternoon, and it's starting to be like 1 o'clock, and we know we still have an hour and a half drive, so it's going to be like 2:30, and then we've got to wake up at like 8. So we're watching our sleep just go away, and it's all because of Mac, and we're becoming very, very irritated and aggravated, and like, all right, we're just going to leave him. And he was buddies with another one of my friends from Arkansas that was working with me. This was one of the first times I'd met Mac, and I'd only known him for a couple weeks, and he was a good guy, but I just, my patience was wearing thin. And his buddy was like, look, I don't know where he's at. I don't know what he's doing. Let's leave him. And I was like, man, I really can't leave him. it feels wrong. And we sat there and we debated about it for like 20 minutes. And I remember we were sitting there in this parking spot off on a side street, just random. It was quite a far away from Bourbon Street at this point, and we're just sitting there, just trying to debate what we're going to do. And I mean, we went back and forth, like I said, for 30 minutes probably. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I can't do this anymore. We got to worry about ourselves. I'm leaving him, and we're going to leave him. And so I go and I put the car in gear. And right when I put the car in gear, I look in the rearview mirror and I see what appears to be Mac. And I'm like, no freaking way. And I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and sure as shit, here comes Mac walking right up, and he's like, hey guys, what's up? And we're like, Mac, you son of a bitch! Get in the car! Get in the car! Where in the hell have you been? And he just rolled up like it was just no big deal, just another casual thing. And out of all the spots in the universe, we were so far away from where we originally planned to agree to meet up, and it was far away from Bourbon Street even. Like, it was just the most random thing ever, the most random event ever. It was insane. There was just Mac rolling up out of nowhere randomly, right where we were, just right when we were leaving him. I mean, it was the last second. My hand was on the gear shift to pull out and say, all right, we're leaving him. And we had decided it was over. He was getting left in New Orleans. He was going to be a New Orleansian at this point. Like, it was over, but he came rolling up. So we loaded him in the car and got back to the hotel and went to bed and got ready for work the next night. But it was just another random story from my crazy adventures in life. So feel free to like and subscribe and follow along. I post funny stories like this once a week, and release inventions. I do all kinds of stuff, talk philosophy. I just appreciate everybody for keeping up. Thanks, guys.